So today we're going to learn how to write chemical equations, and in order to do that we need to go ahead and explain some symbols, get those out of the way, and get some vocabulary words in there.
Did we do this in biology? I'm feeling like...
You know what, I think so. Photosynthesis.
Yes,
And
yes.
then when we did, what was the other one? It was the opposite.
Opposite. We do it. Cellular respiration.
Respiration. That's right. Yeah, so we've kind of played with equations already. So hopefully this shouldn't be totally new to everybody. So a few things, we need to explain what reactants and products are, because that's what we're working with.
Okay.
So our reactants, those are the things that are reacting. Well, that's what we're starting with. So we put those, when we're writing these out, we're going to put these on the left side.
So when I'm baking a cake, this is like all of my ingredients.
Right, so
Okay.
the eggs and the flour and the sugar and all that other stuff, those are the reactants. That's what we're starting with.
Okay.
The products is what we end up with. That's the
The cake!
stuff at the end. That's the cake. Thank you. When you're done, after the reaction is complete, those are your products. A few other things, there's some symbols that we work with. For example, we need to be able to tell somebody if we're dealing with a solid or a liquid or a gas, that sort of thing, because it kind of makes a difference. So if we want to say it's a solid, we use an S in parentheses. S is solid.
That's easy.
Yeah, liquid and gas, the L and the G are similar. L is for liquids, G is for gas. A couple other ones that we may not be as familiar with. We've got something called AQ.
AQ.
Yeah, so it means aqueous.
Like, does it have something to do with water?
Yeah, and so what we're doing is we are dissolving something in water. So if something is aqueous, it's dissolved in water.
Okay. That's easy.
So like you take table salts, sprinkle it in the water, you stir it all up, it's dissolved, it's aqueous.
An aqueous solution.
Right, good.
Okay.
A couple other things, we've got an arrow. That is the,
Does that mean like it makes? Because I saw it was reactants and then we have products. So it's like reactants make products?
yeah, so it can be makes, sometimes we can say yields.
Yield sounds more scientific.
We can also say produces. But yeah, that's the actual things are happening. We have put our ingredients in the oven and they're baking. That's the arrow.
Okay.
And then the plus is,
Does that mean like we're mixing things together?
well, yeah, you can say and mixed with,
Maybe reacts with?
reacts with, that works. This is when you're putting things together. Kind of like when you're adding, plus sign means you're gonna put them all together. So that's what we're doing here. So once we get all of that, we can start translating, because basically that's what we're doing. We're taking regular words that you and I use, and we're going to write them in a different form that's a little bit faster.
Okay.
So when we're going through right now, we've got sodium plus sulfur, arrow, sodium, sulfide. So what we're going to do, instead of the words for the different elements and stuff like that, we're going to use the symbols.
So I need to get out my periodic table?
Right, so now would be a good time. If you don't have your periodic table, go ahead and pull it out. We'll wait.
Get it out!
Okay, so now you have your periodic table, so you just look up sodium. When you look it up, the symbol for sodium, do you remember?
Na?
Yeah, that's right. This one we've already got the plus. It's kind of nice, so we can just use the plus again. We want to look up sulfur, get the symbol for that one.
He's a S.
Right. We can keep the arrow. So now we've got sodium and sulfur yields.
Okay. I gotta go back to naming.
Right.
I've got a metal and a non-metal.
Okay.
So that's ionic.
Right.
And when I have ionics, I have to crisscross, so I make a neutral compound, right?
Right. Okay, so we've got sodium. And sodium, do you remember the charge on sodium?
He's in group 1, so +1.
Right. And then sulfide tells us that.
It's sulfur, and he's in group
Right.
6, so that would be a -2.
Right. And then if we crisscross, we can bring our charges down, so we've got Na2S. So if we want to write that out so it's all nice and clean, we'll just rewrite this other stuff. Oh, that's awful. I apologize. There we go. So, sodium plus sulfur yields sodium sulfide, Na2S.
That's really easy.
Yeah, well, and we can go the other way also. So we can take the formula and we can write it into like a regular sentence. So when we're looking at this, Mg,
Mg is magnesium, and it's metal, so could I say metal magnesium?
yeah, you could say, or we can say magnesium metal.
Okay.
And so the S, if we look at that also tells us that it's metal because it's solid. So
Okay.
we've got magnesium metal, and we've got that plus sign in there.
So we're saying reacts with?
Yeah, reacts with that because that sounds nice and sciencey. Reacts with, and now we've got HCl.
I know if it's an acid because it starts with an H.
Right.
And since it's a binary acid, because I just have 2 elements in it, I start it with
Hydro. There we go.
hydrochloric acid.
There we go.
Yes. It's been a long time since I've done this naming.
I know, but that's okay. It never quite goes away. We'll always keep coming back to it. Okay, so magnesium metal reacts with hydrochloric acid. Our arrow could be,
To produce.
okay, that's a good one. To produce. We've got MgCl2.
Magnesium chloride.
Awesome.
It's coming back to me.
It's like
like
riding a
Celine Dion.
bicycle.
It's all coming back. It's all coming back to me now.
So, start looking through YouTube, and she may be the next. She may be the next hit.
American Idol, The Voice. I've already tried out. They said no.
Whatever. We'll try like Britain or Belgium or something like that. Okay, so to produce magnesium chloride.
It's a diatomic. I just call it just its name, right?
Yeah, we can just call it hydrogen.
Oh, but it's got a G, so maybe I should be specific and say hydrogen gas.
Right.
Okay.
So and hydrogen gas. There we go.
This stuff is easy.
Yeah, it's pretty good. If you think it's easy also, you can go ahead and move on to the practice and work on it on your own. If not, we've got a couple more practice problems that we're going to work through right here. So if you need the extra help, come along with us. Okay. Welcome back. So let's do a couple more examples real quick. This time we'll focus on taking the words and moving them to the formulas.
So if I had to pick one that was going to be more important than the other, would we say it would be words to formulas in?
Yeah, that's
Okay.
where we're going to be spending most of our time going from the words to the formulas. Especially since later on we're going to be doing a whole lot of stuff with just the formulas. So we need to be solid on being able to do that.
Okay.
So here's one of our examples. So our sentence is, when hydrogen gas and oxygen gas react, they form water.
Okay, so hydrogen gas is a Brinkelhoff.
Yeah,
So I should write it as H2 or Brinkelhoff twin.
right. And then we say it's a gas, so I need to put anything next to it.
A G.
Okay. And, so we can use the plus sign.
Oxygen gas, again, he's one of those Brinkelhoffs because if I start at 7 and draw 7, another way to remember
Oh,
it.
yeah.
So it's O2, and
O2.
that one says it's a gas, so we should put a G behind it as well.
Okay. So when they react,
It forms.
We
Oh, that
can-
means it's like it makes or it yields?
yeah. So we can put the arrow in there.
Water. I know
They
that one. It's
form.
H2O.
Yay!
Now, I don't know this. Is it water? Because water can be a solid, a liquid, and a gas, but I don't think it's freezing, so I don't think it's a solid.
Yeah.
So are we saying it's
So
a
we
liquid?
could say, yeah, we could so we could say it's a liquid.
Okay.
Another thing, a lot of times if it's water is a gas, it may say water vapor or steam.
Steam. Okay.
Yeah. Usually though, it would say liquid, whatever
Okay.
we're dealing with. Okay. How about one more?
Sounds good. Sounds good.
So we've got aluminum and oxygen gas react together to produce aluminum oxide. So we'll start at the beginning. We've got aluminum.
Al.
Okay, Al. And oxygen gas. So we
Plus.
can put the plus.
We just did oxygen gas.
It's
and
okay, I
it's
know what you're saying.
O2 with the G behind
Put the
it.
G because it's the gas. React
then To
together.
produce makes an arrow.
Right.
And then aluminum oxide. So I remember if it doesn't have prefixes in the name,
Mm-hmm.
covalents have prefixes, ionics don't. So this
Right.
is another one I'm going to have to crisscross.
Okay.
So aluminum is in group 3, so he's Al with the 3 plus.
Plus.
And oxygen is in group 6, so he's got a 2 minus.
2 minus.
And when I crisscross that, it will be Al2O3.
Al2O3. So aluminum and oxygen gas react together to produce Al2O3.
Easy enough.
All right. Rock on. Go on to the independent practice.
And if you have questions, please ask.